Before we start today, let me ask you something. And please don't answer out loud. Just think. How many times did you want to say something? The words were already there in your head, but you stayed quiet because one thought stopped you. What will they think of me?
Maybe your heart started to beat faster. Maybe your chest felt a little tight. You checked the sentence again and again in your mind. You thought about your accent. You thought about your grammar. You thought about your voice. And suddenly that simple sentence felt too dangerous to say.
You imagined people looking at you, judging you, thinking you sound strange, thinking you are not smart enough, or maybe thinking you talk too much or too little.
So instead of speaking, you smiled. You nodded. You stayed safe on the outside. But inside, something else was happening.
Inside, you were saying, I want to talk. I want to try. I want to use my English. But your body said no. Your fear said not now. So you stayed quiet. And later, maybe on your way home, maybe at night, that moment came back to you.
You replayed it like a small movie in your head. You thought, why didn't I say anything? I had something to say. It was not stupid. It was okay. And then, of course, later, much later, you suddenly find the perfect sentence.
Usually in the shower, or while talking to yourself, or giving a very strong speech to your mirror, or your shampoo bottle.
Yes, best English speech of your life. Very confident, very clear. Sadly, no audience.
If this sounds familiar, we want you to know something very important. You are not strange, you are not weak, and you are definitely not alone.
Today's episode is for you if you care too much about what other people think, especially when you want to speak English. If you stop yourself, if you hold words inside, if you feel smaller than you really are, you are in the right place.
In this episode, we're going to talk gently about that fear. Not in a loud way, not in a push-yourself way, but in a calm, honest way. We want to help you understand why this fear feels so strong and how you can slowly start loosening its grip.
And just to say this clearly from the beginning, this is easy, clear English. This episode is best for A2 to B1 learners. If you are intermediate, this is perfect for you. And if you are still lower intermediate, that's okay too.
You do not need to understand every word. You do not need to stop and translate. You do not need to be perfect here. Your only job right now is very simple. Relax, listen, and stay with us. If some words feel fast, let them go. If some sentences feel new, that's fine. Your brain is smarter than you think. It's already listening. It's already connecting sounds, feelings, and meaning.
Think of this episode like sitting with two friends. Friends who understand this fear. Friends who have felt it before. One of us has learned how to speak with the fear, and one of us is still learning, just like you.
And if today, while listening, you think, yes, this is me, then stay. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders relax. You don't need to speak yet.
For now, just listen. This space is safe, and this story might sound very familiar. Before we go deeper, we want to gently invite you into this episode, not to do anything big, not to be brave yet, just to notice something.
Think about the last time you wanted to speak English, but didn't. It could be in class, at work, with friends, with family, or even online, typing a comment, then deleting it. Just pick one small moment.
Where were you? Who was there? And what stopped you? Was it fear of making a mistake? Fear of sounding strange? Or fear of what people might think if you spoke? You don't need to answer now. Just hold that moment gently in your mind.
And while you're listening today, that moment might come back again. That's okay. We're not here to judge it. We're here to understand it.
Near the end of this episode, we'll ask you to share, only if you want. You can tell us in the comments where this fear shows up most for you. Is it speaking English in public? Speaking to native speakers? Speaking at work? Or even speaking to people you already know well?
There's no right or wrong answer, and you don't have to write a long comment. Even one short sentence is enough.
And we also love noticing something else. People often deal with fear in different ways. Some people remember the fear, but speak anyway. Others hide the fear with humor. They joke, they smile, they talk fast so nobody notices they're nervous.
So today, just for fun, we have two quiet teams. There's Team Emma, people who feel the fear, feel it clearly, and still try to speak step by step. And then there's Team Alex, people who feel nervous inside, but use jokes, laughter, or silence to protect themselves.
Gently, neither team is better. Both are human. You don't need to choose right now. You might even be both, depending on the day.
If later you feel like sharing, you can tell us which team sounds more like you, or you can say, some days I'm both.
But for now, there's nothing you need to do. No button you must press, no comment you must write. Your only job is still the same. Stay, listen, and let the ideas arrive slowly.
This episode is not about changing who you are. It's about understanding yourself a little better. And once you understand, change becomes softer and possible.
So take another slow breath. Bring your attention back here. We're going to gently explore where this fear comes from and why it feels so strong, especially when English is involved, and we'll do it together.
You know, when people ask, why do I care so much, they often think the answer is something recent, like work, or social media, or adult pressure. But very often, the story starts much earlier.
Much earlier than we expect. For many of us, it starts in school. Not always in a big, dramatic way. Not with something terrible. Sometimes it starts with something small.
Maybe you remember this. You're sitting in a classroom. You know the answer, or you think you do. Your heart starts beating a little faster. The teacher looks around and says, "Who wants to answer?" You raise your hand.
Or maybe you don't raise it, but the teacher calls your name anyway. You stand up. Everyone is looking at you. And then, you make a mistake.
Maybe your pronunciation is wrong. Maybe you choose the wrong word. Maybe your grammar is imperfect. And suddenly, something happens. Someone laughs. Someone whispers. The teacher corrects you, quickly, loudly, without meaning to hurt you. But your body doesn't know that.
Your body only knows one thing. This feels dangerous.
That moment might last 5 seconds, but inside you, it stays much longer. Your face feels hot. Your stomach feels tight. You sit down and think, I should not have spoken.
This is how fear begins. Not as a thought, but as a feeling. And the feeling learns very fast.
It learns a simple rule. When I speak, I might be embarrassed. And once the brain learns that rule, it tries to protect you.
So next time, it whispers, maybe stay quiet. Maybe don't try. Maybe wait until you're perfect. This is not weakness. This is survival.
Your brain thinks it's helping.
Now let's move forward in time. You grow up. You leave school. You become an adult. But the rule is still there.
Only now the classroom looks different. It's a meeting room, a shop, a phone call, a Zoom meeting, a casual conversation with someone who speaks English confidently.
And the old feeling quietly returns. Your heart beats faster, your mind suddenly feels empty. Words you know disappear. You tell yourself, why am I like this? I studied English. I know this.
But your body remembers something else. It remembers risk.
This is where many people feel confused. They think, I care too much. I'm too sensitive. I'm weak. But that's not the right word.
The right word is anxiety. Anxiety is not fear of English. It's fear of what might happen when you use English. Fear of judgment, fear of looking stupid, fear of being seen as not good enough.
And sometimes, deeper than fear, there is shame. Shame is the feeling that something is wrong with me, not just with my English.
That's a heavy feeling to carry.
And here's something important. These feelings don't come from one big moment. They come from many small moments.
A teacher who rushed, a classmate who laughed, a correction that felt like rejection, a test that made you feel stupid. None of these moments alone seem powerful, but together they build a story. A quiet story that says, be careful when you speak. Don't make mistakes. People are watching.
And now, as an adult, you don't hear the teacher's voice anymore. You hear your own. That voice says, don't say it. Check again. Wait.
This is how the past lives in the present, not as memory, but as habit.
And the hardest part, you might not even realize this is happening. You just feel tired after conversations. You overthink simple sentences. You replay conversations in your head at night.
That replaying has a name too. It's called overthinking. Overthinking is when the mind tries to control the future by analyzing the past.
It's exhausting and very human.
So if you're listening right now and thinking, oh, this sounds familiar, that's not a bad sign.
That's awareness. And awareness is the first moment where things start to change. Not because you force them, but because you finally understand why you feel the way you feel.
You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not bad at English. You learned to protect yourself.
And in the next part, we're going to gently look at how that protection can slowly become confidence without fighting yourself. For now, just sit with this thought.
If this fear has a history, then it also can have a future.
You know, Alex, when we talk about all this, the fear, the memories, I start realizing something. A lot of us believe one very quiet rule.
Yeah. That rule that says what other people think about me, that must be the truth.
Yes, exactly that one. And we don't usually say it out loud. We just live like it's true.
I used to feel that strongly. If someone looked confused while I was speaking English, my brain immediately said, oh, I'm doing something wrong.
Or if someone corrected you,
Oh, especially then. I thought, they see the real me now. They know I'm not good enough.
it's strange, isn't it? We give other people so much power to decide who we are.
Yeah, as if they're holding a mirror, and whatever they see becomes reality.
But here's the gentle truth. What people think is not a mirror. It's more like a window.
A window?
Yes, a window into their world, their mood, their expectations, their stress, their personality, not a clear picture of you.
That already feels lighter.
Me too. And yet, when we speak English, many of us feel like we're standing under a spotlight.
Ah, the spotlight.
You know the feeling. You speak one sentence, and suddenly it feels like everyone is watching, listening carefully, waiting for mistakes.
But the truth is, most people are not watching us that closely. They're thinking about themselves, about what to say next, about their own worries.
Exactly. The spotlight is usually much smaller than we imagine.
Sometimes it's not even on.
And when we do feel watched, we often put on something, a mask.
Yes, the perfect English mask, the confident speaker mask, the don't make mistakes mask.
That mask is not fake. It's protection. You learned it because at some point, being yourself didn't feel safe.
So instead of speaking freely, you perform.
Yes, perform is the right word. You perform your English. You perform confidence. You walk on eggshells, carefully, slowly, hoping nothing breaks.
That's exhausting.
It really is. And when you feel tired, you might think, what's wrong with me? But nothing is wrong. You've just been carrying armor when you didn't need it anymore.
I like that image. Armor is heavy, but it makes sense if you once felt unsafe.
Exactly. And here comes the belief we want to gently question. The belief that says, if I make a mistake, something bad will happen. Let's pause there for a moment. When was the last time someone made a small mistake while speaking to you?
Honestly, yesterday.
And what did you think about them?
I barely noticed. I understood the meaning and moved on.
Right. So why do we believe our mistakes are bigger?
Because they feel personal.
Yes, but mistakes are not messages about your value. They're just part of communication.
And here's the shift. You are not here to perform English. You are here to connect.
Connection doesn't need perfection. It needs honesty, presence, trying.
So maybe the problem was never you caring too much.
Maybe you cared because you wanted to belong.
That's not weakness.
That's being human.
A very human problem.
And once you see that, you can stop blaming yourself. You didn't fail, you adapted.
So now you can choose something new. Not suddenly, not perfectly, but slowly.
You can step out from under the spotlight. You can loosen the mask. You can put the armor down, just a little.
And say, I'm learning, and that's enough.
Warmly. Yes. And in the next part, we'll talk about how to turn this understanding into confidence without forcing it. For now, just remember,
Softly. You weren't broken. You were protecting yourself.
Alex, now that we understand why fear holds us back, how do we actually move forward? I mean, it feels like so many learners hear these ideas about confidence and mindset, but then they don't really know what to do next. They feel stuck, like they're aware but frozen.
Right, I get that. So many people think I need courage or I need to speak perfectly, and they wait for this magic moment where confidence just appears. But real change doesn't work like that. Real change comes from tiny steps, small movements repeated over time. One sentence, one action, one choice at a time, not giant leaps.
Yes. Even a single sentence counts. Seriously. Something simple like, I am learning English, or can you repeat that? It doesn't matter if it's awkward at first. Say it aloud, even just to yourself in your room. That alone is a step forward. And, each tiny step actually builds momentum.
Exactly. And here's the thing about confidence. It isn't a fixed trait. It's not something you either have or don't have. Confidence is a muscle. Like any muscle, it grows when you use it. Start light. Start small. You don't lift the heaviest weight first, right? You build gradually. A tiny repetition, a small success, over time adds up.
Yes, even a single sentence counts. Seriously. Something simple like, I am learning English, or can you repeat that? It doesn't matter if it's awkward at first. Say it aloud, even just to yourself in your room. That alone is a step forward. And, each tiny step actually builds momentum.
Exactly. And here's the thing about fear. It actually can be your guide if you reframe it. That racing heart, that tight chest, it doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean stop. It's your brain saying, good, you're stepping outside your comfort zone. You're about to grow. Curiosity can replace fear. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what will I discover if I try?
Yes, I remember trying this myself not long ago. I told myself, I'm just experimenting.
Suddenly, mistakes became funny, not dangerous. I laughed at myself when I said something strange instead of freezing. And, I learned more that way and relaxed at the same time. That tiny shift from fear to curiosity completely changes the experience.
And that's why we focus on progress, not perfection. Perfection is a trap. It keeps people frozen. Progress is gentle. Progress is saying one sentence, adjusting, trying again, repeating. Every small step counts. Every small repetition is a win.
And repetition is really key. Speak your sentence once today. Try it tomorrow. Change it slightly. Add another. Gradually, your brain begins to trust that speaking English is safe, manageable, and even enjoyable. It's training your brain to relax instead of panic.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate these tiny wins. Even saying one sentence aloud is an achievement. Pause, smile, and acknowledge it. Your confidence grows as you notice your own efforts. It's not only the action, it's recognizing it that feeds confidence.
And the mindset shift is subtle, but it's real. Confidence grows quietly, steadily, like water filling a cup, drop by drop. Every tiny choice to try, every little experiment, every small repetition builds it over time. And over months, it becomes noticeable.
So listeners, here's your action. Pick one sentence today, say it aloud. Repeat it tomorrow. Tweak it slightly the next day. Focus on curiosity over fear. Focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate every small win. That alone is enough to begin real, lasting change.
Yes, and the beauty is you don't need a huge burst of courage. You don't need perfect English. You just need one small, repeated step today. That's it. And that is already more than enough to feel yourself grow, to feel the tiniest spark of confidence.
Exactly. Small steps, repeated consistently, confidence muscle growing, curiosity replacing fear, progress over perfection, one sentence at a time. That's how we actually move forward. And over time, these tiny actions accumulate into major growth.
And remember, every try counts. Every experiment counts. Even if it feels silly, you can try this, you can practice, you can grow. Start with one small action right now, yes, this very moment, and notice how your brain reacts. Notice how small progress feels. It's surprisingly rewarding.
And when you do this consistently, something beautiful happens. Fear doesn't disappear overnight, but you learn to act with it instead of being paralyzed. Confidence doesn't become loud or dramatic instantly, but it becomes steady, quiet, real. And that's the kind of confidence that sticks.
Yes, and it's liberating. You stop trying to be perfect and just start experimenting. You start seeing English not as a test, but as a playground. Every sentence is a tiny adventure. Every conversation is practice, growth, and yes, even joy.
Exactly. And one more thing, don't rush. Real growth takes time. Just like a plant grows gradually, so does confidence. Water it daily with small actions, repeated steps, curiosity, and self-kindness. And watch it bloom over time.
So, for today, listeners, pick your sentence, say it aloud, notice the feeling, repeat it, smile at your effort, and remember, this tiny step is already a big deal. You are practicing, you are growing, you are moving forward, and that is exactly what counts.
Yes, small steps, repeated. Curiosity over fear, progress over perfection. Celebrate your tiny wins. Confidence grows quietly, steadily, and it will carry you further than any sudden burst of courage ever could.
Yes, and that's enough for today. That's already enough to feel growth, to feel movement, to feel hope. And tomorrow, take another small step. Keep going. You've got this.
Alex, now that we've explored small actions, curiosity over fear, and progress over perfection, I think it's time to slow down a bit and just reflect on what we've learned today. Sometimes we rush from one tip to the next, and the real learning happens when we pause, absorb, and try things gently.
Exactly, Emma. It's like finishing a long walk. If we keep moving without looking around, we miss all the little details. And in learning English, those little details are everything. That's why I love this final part of our session, the calm learning payoff. Let's go through some vocabulary and phrases we touched on, slowly, so our listeners can really anchor them in memory.
Yes. Okay, let's start with curiosity. It's not just about asking questions. Curiosity here is noticing your own feelings when you speak English. That nervous flutter in your chest? Instead of running away, you can ask yourself, what can I discover? It turns fear into a guide, not a wall.
Exactly. And progress over perfection, that one's so important. Perfection traps learners. It creates pressure, panic, and sometimes even shame when a sentence isn't exactly right. Progress, on the other hand, is gentle. Progress is saying one sentence, adjusting, trying again. Each repetition, even small, is a win.
Yes. And then we talked about the confidence muscle. I love that metaphor. Confidence is not something you magically have or don't have. It's like a muscle in your body. You strengthen it by exercising it little by little. One tiny sentence today, another tomorrow. Over time, it grows stronger and, easier to use.
Right. And let's not forget small, practical action. That's the real gem. One sentence, one question, one step, even if it's just saying, "Can you repeat that aloud in your room?" That's already practice. That's already growth. And importantly, it's safe. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to experiment. That's part of the process.
And repetition ties all of these together. Our brains love repetition. It builds trust, muscle memory, and calm. If you try a sentence today and repeat it tomorrow, your brain starts saying, this is safe, I can do this. Slowly, speaking English becomes easier and even enjoyable.
Exactly. And here's the gentle reminder. There is no rush. Learning is not a race. The real win isn't speaking perfectly today. The real win is showing up one step at a time and noticing that each small effort actually adds up. That feeling of progress, that's your reward. That's the payoff.
Yes, and I love that idea of redefining the win. It's not the dramatic moment of flawless speech. It's the quiet, steady wins, the small sentence you said, the question you asked, the courage you exercised. That's real. That's meaningful.
And vocabulary matters too, listeners. Let's revisit some words from today. Experiment, curiosity, progress, confidence muscle, repetition, small practical action, and win. Think about each of these. Say them aloud. Imagine yourself using them. Try them in one sentence today. For example, I am experimenting with English today. Or I am building my confidence muscle one sentence at a time.
And we can even make it fun. Try mixing them into tiny stories. Today, I experimented with English. I felt curiosity when I tried a new sentence. It wasn't perfect, but I saw progress. See, even just practicing like that, softly, quietly, is so effective.
Yes, and notice how calm this feels. No pressure, no judgment, just reflection and gentle repetition. That's the magic part. Learning English this way becomes a positive, safe, and even enjoyable habit.
And now a kind closing. Listeners, I want you to remember this. You are learning at your own pace. Every small sentence you speak, every tiny action you take counts. You are growing quietly, steadily, and that is enough. Your efforts are valid. Your progress is real.
And yes, let's take a soft moment to acknowledge ourselves. Even if you said one sentence today, or even just listened carefully, you've done something valuable. You've practiced presence, reflection, and curiosity. That's huge.
And it's okay to smile at your progress. Even tiny wins deserve celebration. Don't wait for perfection. Notice what you did do. That's the real reward.
And as we close today, remember, learning English doesn't have to be stressful. You can experiment, repeat, adjust, and celebrate. Your confidence muscle grows quietly. Your curiosity leads you forward. And progress, no matter how small, is real success.
Yes, and a final gentle reminder. If you enjoyed today's session, feel free to like, subscribe, and share, but only if it feels good. No pressure. You're already winning by showing up and practicing. That's the essence of learning.
Exactly. And, we'll be back soon with more practical tips, soft experiments, and gentle encouragement. For now, take your small wins, repeat them, notice your growth, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.
Yes, thank you for being here, for listening, for practicing, for taking one tiny step forward today. That's the real victory. Keep going, quietly, steadily, and notice how much you can grow when you give yourself patience, curiosity, and kindness.
And remember, the calm learning payoff isn't about big results. It's about feeling safe, understood, motivated, and capable. That's the true reward. Keep experimenting, keep repeating, keep celebrating. One sentence, one tiny action, one quiet win at a time.
Yes, and we'll see you next time. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep noticing those small, meaningful steps. You are doing wonderfully.